And so talk about the age group that primarily you work with parents with, and then give like an example of a written plan so that, you know, yeah, I hear you saying that these things are needed and they can be done, but what would I get as a parent? What would you give me to help my child?
Okay, so I've been fortunate enough to work with kids pre-K up to high school. When some of my students graduate, I'm also helping them with colleges,
Yeah.
making sure they're talking to their Office of Disability at colleges, that they're looking into what does that look like for them as a college student? Where's the tutoring center? What is,
Okay, yeah,
what does
yeah,
that look like?
yeah.
So that they can make a good decision about where they want to go to college. When I write an action plan for my families, we're going step by step because every family has a different need.
Yep, yep.
So maybe one family says, "Hey, Trina, I took my child to a outside facility to get evaluated. The outside facility states that my child has dyslexia and ADHD. Now I need to go back to the school with this information. What do I need to do?" So the first thing is, because the parent has already talked to the school about this before, but had to go outside to get an evaluation done, which parents need to know that they can do that.
Okay.
If you do not agree with the results from the ETR, or in the ETR it says measurements may not be accurate for whatever reasons, ask for an outside evaluation. Because the ETR is what drives what's going to be put in the IEP. So you want accurate information in there. So for me, I take each client and I go step by step. So if we are requesting an ETR, who we're requesting it to? What exactly are we saying in that letter for request? And I will draft the letters for my family.
Oh, okay. Yep.
We will write out when we determine the eligibility, because that's important. So sometimes kids they act out. So in the meeting for the eligibility, you'll hear the district say, well, this is emotional disturbance. No, maybe not. Maybe it's an explicit learning disability, like dyslexia.
Yep.
And the child is acting out because the child isn't able to learn what their peers are learning. So I am really big on navigating that and making sure my family understands what each eligibility states according to the Ohio Department of Education law. Then it determines how we're going to write that IEP. So, mom, if they're saying your child has a reading comprehension, what would you like to see happen in that area? Then we walk through that process. The process can be short or it can be long, but it has to be very detailed. I also believe in providing resources for my families. So if there is a grant that comes up for tutoring, let me make sure my families are aware of it.
Okay.
So when writing out their plans, it really determines on what that student needs, because once again, an IEP is an individualized education plan. Each family is individualized. Some parents don't need a lot, and some parents need a whole lot, and that's okay. My job is when our relationship ends after a year of services or whatnot, I want you to walk away feeling confident that your child is going to receive the best education. I want you to be able to sleep at night. I want your child's self-esteem to grow and for them to be confident when they're in that school setting and when they're at home with you.